What's up everybody? Welcome back to another Cooking with Felix. Today we are going to make potato pizza. Little pocket-sized pizzas, and it's interesting. I saw a video on it on YouTube, a recipe, and I figured might as well try it. It's something I've never really heard about. So basically, instead of using like a pizza crust, you're using a potato, and you're gonna have like, mozzarella, marinara, and a little bit of onion, and that's kind of like a bite-sized pizza. You'll see it towards the end, but figured might as well give this recipe a try. So here are the ingredients we're going to use. We are going to be using some gold potatoes. We're going to be using marinara sauce, an onion, yellow onion, and mozzarella cheese. So let's get to it. Alrighty, we are back. So we got some potatoes, gold potatoes, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually not going to be doing a whole lot. I'm just going to grab my knife, making sure, obviously, hold it right, and we're going to be cutting it into halves, and that's pretty much it. So we're going to be cutting, I'd say about, we'll cut 7 potatoes. I feel like that might be enough. We'll see. I think it might be a little heavy, but I mean, definitely going to be a lot of carbs at the end of the day. So yeah, just cutting them in halves. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do one more after I cut these. Okay, we'll do one more. See how this goes. Okay, now that I've cut them all, I'm gonna cut the bottom part because you don't want these potatoes, I mean, I'll show it on camera, you don't want them to wobble. You want them to kind of be, I'm just following the directions, so cut a little bit so it's flat and it doesn't wobble around. So when you're baking them, because you want to bake it first to get the potato a little soft, because that's how I'll explain a little bit once I finish this. Or actually I'll explain it right now because it's kind of boring just hearing me cut or not really say much, but anyway, cutting them, making a flat surface, and the reason why we're baking them, or at least like cooking them a little bit, is because we're gonna use the inside. We're gonna cut and scoop out the potato that's in there, and we're gonna put the marinara. That's where we're gonna put the marinara sauce and the cheese, and then we also are gonna use the rest of that potato that gets scooped out to be used for filling. So almost done cutting them all to flat pieces so they don't wobble around when it's cooking. And yeah, I don't know, I'm honestly excited because I've never really heard of anyone doing this, nor have I seen it. So this will be like an interesting take. So now that we've got all these potatoes cut, we are going to put water in this little pan, and we are going to heat it up for, I believe it said 10 minutes, 10 to 13. And we're also, before I start putting the potatoes, I just remembered we gotta cut the inside. So just like little marks, little like, not deep cuts, but just enough so that we can scoop out the potatoes afterwards. And already I messed up the first one. It's okay. And I feel like this potato pizza is probably going to be good, or at least pretty popular for like appetizer, or I could see it as an appetizer. If you're having like parties and you have a lot of guests coming, this might be a good finger food. And it's definitely like a unique approach to like a bite-sized appetizer. Innovative, I guess. So yeah, cutting every single one. And I'll probably just cut the video right now and then we'll show you the finish. Alright, so now we've cut the potatoes, the inside of it, and we've turned them around because we're going to cook the inside of it. And I put a little bit of water, not fully submerged, but just enough where it can cook the inside of the potato, and then I put a little bit of salt. So now we're going to put a 10-minute timer, and while we do that, we're going to cut the onions. Alright, now we're going to cut an onion. Now, I'm not going to make the mistake of cutting this, because this is where where tears are made. So, definitely not going to do that. We're going to cut this in half first. And I don't want to cut too much. I don't want to put too much pressure, because that's, like, I can already smell it. Or I can at least feel the onion break down. And that's when, like, the release makes me cry up. It releases that, whatever that chemical or I don't know how to describe it, but it just, don't want to mess with that. So we're going to definitely chop this, figuring out exactly how I'm going to cut it. Feels like surgery. We'll do, how am I going to do this? I'm going to do, oh man, I've already failed. I'm feeling the tears, everyone. Oh man, I'm feeling it. Oh boy. I'm feeling the tears already. Mission failed already. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Ooh, my eyes are watering right now, like real bad. Oh my gosh. Ooh. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm like, dude, the onions got to me already. Oh. One day I will cut the onion without crying. One of these days I'll do it right. One of these days. Oh my gosh. That really got me. Whew. Oh my gosh, it's like getting worse. Anyway. Onions, I feel like that's the biggest thing I need to improve upon. Don't make the same mistake I did. If you cut too hard, and if you cut it wrong, you're gonna end up like me crying. That just means the food's gonna be delicious, right? All that saying, the blood, sweat, and tears. Legit tears will put on this. Oh my gosh, it's getting worse. I think I'm like cutting it too hard. But I'm trying to dice this. Because these are way too big pieces. They're like, these pieces are too big for me. And I'm sure no one wants a giant piece of onion in their pizza. Oh my gosh, my eyes. Whew. Usually what I learned when you're dicing, I hold this part and I hold normal grip, and you just go like, basically you're holding this part down while the grip is moving up and down, and then you can control it left and right. So that's what I'm doing right now. And also if you're cutting something and if the board is slippery, which in my case it is, and I forgot to do this trick, but don't make the same mistake I did. If your board is slippery, like if it's moving like it is right now, usually I heard that if you put a wet towel or wet cloth underneath the cutting board, it'll keep it stable, so that way you don't have any injuries. Sorry man, the onions really got me. Oh my gosh, like, I don't know, like onions really get me. Like, finally done cutting onions. Now we're gonna move on to the next step, which is waiting for the potatoes. We got about 3 more minutes left. So it took us 7 minutes to cut these onions. I mean, crying mainly. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna move on to the next thing. Alright, so now we got the potatoes finished cooking in water or boiling. And now I'm going to pat down the potatoes and I'm going to scoop the inside. So as you can see, I've already tried doing it to test it. And now I'm going to scoop out the inside and put it in this bowl. And then we're going to mix it with the onion. And time, I'd say I'd put it for about 10 minutes originally, but then it took a little while. I wasn't too sure if it would come out easily, so I just put in another, say, 3 minutes, and it seemed to work. So I'm like thinking, yeah. So I'm gonna try to grab every single. It's hot too, so it's legit hot potato. And probably it's hot. It's like really hot. Yeah, it's a mess. I ain't doing this right. It does not look professional at all. But right now I'm just trying to scoop out the inside of this. And I don't want to be too hard because I don't want to rip the potato like the outside, because that's legit the pizza crust acting. So I'm trying to scoop it out actually, not cut. And I think I might have needed more time because it's not coming out easily. Or actually, it could either be that or I just didn't cut it properly or deep enough because I was afraid of puncturing it. So that also could have happened. But it is working though, at least like plan-wise. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm honestly like a whole new recipe I wanted to try, definitely out of the comfort zone. Haven't really honestly made any pizza yet. I've seen family do it, but I've never actually made pizza, so I guess this would be kind of the intro. Friendly introduction, I guess. I do plan on trying to cook pizza today though, or not today, but sometime this week. I do want to try that for a video idea for Cooking with Felix segment, another recipe. So yeah, this is gonna take a little while, so I'm going to fast forward and we're just gonna skip to the next step. Alrighty, we are back. So now we've got these scooped out, and now we are going to put some marinara sauce. We're going to spread it evenly inside each one. So we're going to do that now. And I also just microwaved a little bit because I'm trying to mash the inside of the potato that we just took out, and that's going to be the filling. So basically taking out and then putting it back on, but that's to cover the marinara sauce. So I'm going to do that after. We are going to scoop up some marinara, place it, don't need too much, just enough where like it's not drenched. We don't want it flooding the potato pizza. Just like a little light brush. and then we're gonna put more afterwards. So, and it didn't. Off camera, it did take a little while scooping out everything, but it actually was a little easier than it, or it wasn't as bad as I thought, because some of them actually scooped out pretty well. Just some potatoes, because the size was different from every single one. Some of them were softer than others, so it was easier to scoop out, while the others I had to like kind of use a little bit of force. Yeah, just 2 more and then we should be good. And perfect. Got that. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. Then we're gonna put the filling in. First I'm gonna microwave it, so we'll be right back. Alright, so microwaved it, and I'm using a whisk because I don't have a potato masher. And microwave's definitely helping, because we're finally breaking this thing down, the filling. Now we're going to add in mozzarella cheese. Mozzarella cheese to each one a little bit, and then we're going to put the potato filling to cover it, and then we're going to put another layer of cheese again, mozzarella cheese, because we want it packed in there. And I actually might just break them into smaller pieces, because I want as much cheese on every single piece. Plus I just love cheese. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Mozzarella cheese, I think it's pretty good. I know some people prefer cheddar. I'm trying to think of what other cheese. Cheddar cheese. Wait, did I already say that? Not sure. Just trying to think of like what other cheeses would people use for pizza. I've never really... Blue cheese I feel like is pretty rare. I know it's probably a thing. It's gotta be a thing. But yeah, I'm curious what other people would put as their topping for pizza. For me, I just love cheese. And can't really do pepperoni just because pescatarian, but I'm sure pepperoni's pretty good too. Mushrooms pretty good. I don't know if not everyone loves mushrooms. Olives is pretty good. Basil, definitely basil is pretty good. A nice little flavor. Sound pretty fancy, but not really. But I'm just like thinking about like pizza toppings, because I know back in the day when I started the LTA show, first ever episode was a pizza episode, and I was discussing about like toppings and types of pizza. So I wonder what other people, and it just kind of made me remember that. That's why I was like talking about it. That's why I'm mentioning it. So I wonder what other people, whether they agree or not. I don't know if you've seen the very first episode. You probably know what I'm talking about. And if not, I definitely recommend you checking it out. Man, like, format was pretty interesting. Great conversation. And yeah, it just kind of made me think about that after. It wasn't intentional, by the way, when I decided to make this. But alright, so right now can't really see it on camera, or maybe you can see a little bit of it. But now I've added the cheese to every single one. Now I'm just adding in the filling to cover it, and then I'm going to do another layer of marinara, and then another layer of cheese. So it's 2 layers of cheese, 2 layers of marinara. To really capture, or really get that flavor. And because it's pocket-sized pizza bites, you want to really taste. You want that taste. You want that pizza taste. And I'm not gonna overfill it. I'm gonna try to flatten it out after I fill every single one. So they look pretty nice, or at least like, I don't know. I think once it's baked it'll look nicer, but anyway, flattening it all down so I can put another layer of marinara and another layer of cheese. Now, some of these potatoes are pretty tiny, so it's like really hard to flatten this out. Okay, let me just showcase that real quick. That's what it looks like. Now we're going to add another marinara. You're gonna do that. Spread. For those that are cooking or have been cooking recently, just like me, I mean, you probably got more experience than I do. I'm curious, what was your first dish you've ever cooked? First thing I've ever cooked, I think I might have mentioned in the podcast before in a story or show and tell or story experience, whatever it was. I don't remember the segment, but I was talking about like cooking, and I think the first thing, I think I mentioned it, it was fried rice. It was like a egg fried rice with like fish cake and carrots, and I think proportion size weren't great because it was ginormous pieces of carrots. Rice was cooked. I mean, all that matters is as long as it's cooked thoroughly. And I feel like with vegetables, you don't have to worry too much. If it's meat, then you do. But it was just a vegetable fish cake fried rice, which is very unique. Yeah, I like vaguely remember that. I'm trying to remember. And then I think after that, all I've been doing was just cooking eggs. Like that was kind of just stopped. Or I guess after that fried rice thing, just wasn't scarred, but just never really was motivated or like interested in cooking after. But now I've just recently picked it up. And I think, I don't know if I mentioned it, but the story behind when I cooked the first ever fried rice was actually for Mother's Day for my mom. It was like in middle school. I was thinking about like what could I do. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make fried rice. I know she cooks a lot, so I tried doing it. I don't even remember if she ate it all. I think she tried it, and I was like, you know, being a good mom was like appreciative. I don't know about taste, so I'm sure it wasn't yummy at all. Anyway, it's okay. It was the experience, and we had to start from somewhere. Anyway, this is what it looks like right now. If it's gonna focus, come on, focus. All right, now we're gonna put this in the toaster oven, which I'm gonna preheat, and I completely forgot. And we're gonna put it for 10 minutes, and then I'll show you the end result. So right now it's cooking. 4 more minutes, and we'll get to see if it's cooked or not thoroughly, and we'll get back right to it. Alright, so we just finished looking at it. Looks pretty good, honestly. Let me just remove it from the tray, and let me show you real quick. That's what it looks like. Looks pretty good, honestly. Now we're going to do a taste test to see. Alright, so we're going to do a taste test. Yeah, let's get to it. So we'll start out with a tiny one. That's what it looks like. Showcase that better. I'm like in between. I think the potato, I might have done it wrong because I just bit into it, and like on top is totally fine. I think it's just like it's still kind of, maybe it wasn't cooked thorough. Because got a little crunch, I guess, or like a little bite to it. Not like breaks down easily. I don't know though. It's I think it's still pretty good though. Like honestly, I can totally see this as like a filling appetizer. I can see why it'd be considered an appetizer. It's nice, bite-sized, and I mean it's kind of addicting. I think it's pretty good though. Honestly, for the first time trying it, definitely some improvements could be made, but I love potatoes, so I don't really have a problem with it. I guess the only difference is it said to microwave it. Instead, I used a pot to heat up the water and like kind of boil the potato. So maybe the microwave would have made it a little more chewier or softer. But honestly, good all around. Love potatoes, so I'm gonna enjoy it. Thanks for watching today's episode. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.